Bobby Wagner. That contract comes out, what, $50 million or something? Yeah. They say $50 million, $50 million, which is how they always report deals. Yeah, well, they used to report deals. They used to say what the grand fake number was, Fugazi's number was. If they cure COVID, they get everybody to either wear masks or not wear masks, and you catch 45 touchdowns, you will obtain all of this money right here. And that's how they've always reported it. And I think the NFL likes it because it sounds like they're giving their players a lot more money than they actually have to. Anytime people think you're giving more money to people than you actually are, you probably are enjoying that. Agents like it because agents look like they negotiated deals that are so massive and large. And then once you get into the finer details, it's like, oh no, actually, this is like a 2-year, $17.5 million deal that has $10 million in guarantees. Now that wouldn't normally be a conversation, but it became one because Wagner negotiated this deal himself. So he said he doesn't have anything against agents. He just kind of wanted to learn for future business and be a part of that, which by the way, Bobby, fucking shout out to you.
Yeah, Bob.
Listen, people are going to get their hands in the pot. No matter what, if you think you can do it yourself and want to do it yourself and learn, and you get yourself $10 million fully guaranteed, not that allegedly the Ravens had more on the table and maybe an agent or two that knows the lay of the landscape a little bit more could have got him more money. But I like the fact that Bobby Wagner took ownership. And I enjoy good agents as well, okay? Good agents are good. There's a lot of bad agents, though. So, like, that is something that should at least be chatted about. That became a whole thing because now the agent world, the people who are plugged in with the agents are like, he could have got a lot more money. This guy should have had an agent. Bobby Wagner's coming on this show tomorrow to talk about his new contract. Here we go. So I can't wait to chat with him. He'll be on here tomorrow. Your thoughts on the whole process, him going back to L.A. and the way it's kind of unfolded publicly here?
I mean, it was a great situation, obviously, football-wise, to win. That's going to be a better situation, I think, than the Ravens. When you get him on tomorrow, you got to ask him about why the hell he went to 45. I got to.
Hey,
it's a great number.
Put that graphic. Zito made a graphic earlier. Look, that doesn't look like him.
No.
That 45 stank, man. I mean, White pulls it off down in Tampa, but 40, I don't know. Maybe he'll switch it up after training camp, but we'll see. Maybe he'll make it look good in ball.
But, yes, he's gonna. Hey, he's gonna have ball.
There he is. 45 at linebacker. That's but I mean, all-time great player. First ballot Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ. A guy I would love to have in any locker room and on the field. He's like a defensive coordinator on the field. Obviously, may have lost a step physically, but always know where to be mentally. And every player, can't represent themselves. I think Bobby, his last deal, I think he negotiated. He was the highest paid linebacker in the league. Obviously, at a different point in his career now. And once a player negotiates their own deal, like you said, I think because of these agents and their relationships to insiders and TV people and all that shit, guys like Florio are going to jump in there and dive into every damn detail in the contract. It's a 1-year, $10 million deal. He's an older, like I said, lost a step on a good team. I think it was a decent deal for himself. Everybody can't do it, but Bobby Wags, obviously, he took initiative. And he said this will probably set him up for, later in life, post-football, when you're negotiating business deals. So I think in the long term, even in the short term, Bobby Wagner will be just fine.
I'm happy for him. I can't wait to chat with him tomorrow. And to echo your point, there are some great agents out there. Not everybody should be handling their own business. I've been very fortunate to work with some agents, some good, some bad, and then I've gotten to the point now where it's like, all right, I would like to hear these people talk directly to my face if they got something to say. Like, hey, if you want to do this, I would like to hear it. I don't need to hear the third party trying to decipher how to deliver the message to me. I would like to hear it directly from you, but I think I'm a much different person than a lot of people. A lot of pride in Bobby Wagner doing this, and he's taking it on the shins from the agent community, and it's like, are we going to point out every fucking terrible deal that's been created then? All right, we can do that.
They don't do that.
If you want me to on this show start dedicating like a good 5-10 minutes every single day to terrible deals that I've been a part of or I've seen other people a part of, we can do that too if you want to, media, all right? Agent media, I would let you know we can do that every single day, or we can have a little fucking respect for Bobby Wagner taking a little ownership himself. Bobby Wagner will be joining our program tomorrow. We'll be talking with Bobby Wagner. He negotiated his own contract with the Los Angeles Rams. It's a 2-year, $17.5 million deal, $10 million guaranteed, although it was reported as a 5-year, $50 million deal, which doesn't make any sense to any of us about the bullshit reporting, why that has always been a thing. And I'm not saying give us a Pulitzer Prize, but I do believe we have put a little bit of pressure on some people to be like, hey, enough with the fugazi numbers that make teams look better than they actually are because they're paying so much money, and agents look better than they actually are because the deals that are being published that they negotiated aren't real. Now, there are great agents out there. I am not saying there aren't. There are incredible business people out there who do have the best interests of their clients and their players and everything like that. There's a lot of bad actors out there as well that put on a suit and have no fucking idea what they're doing business-wise. So, for a long time, all of them have been protected. There was even a rule at one point that other agents can't poach other agents' clients. If you're signed with an agent, no other agent's allowed to talk to you. All that did was protect bad agents, which is something that a lot of people have done for a long time. Bobby Wagner negotiates his own deal. He'll be on our show tomorrow to chit-chat about that entire process. Also going to the Rams and wearing number 45. I can't wait for it. Thank you, B-Wag.
Thank you.
Now, with that being said, Florio just buried his contract, because he negotiated.
Did he really?
This isn't the first time Sherman negotiates his own contract. He buries Sherman for negotiating his own contract. I'm sure there's been others. I like Florio, the person, a lot. I like Mike Florio a lot. He and I have had an interesting relationship. He and I have had a great relationship. He has been very nice to us at different times throughout our entire process. It's great catching up with him. He's paisano, West Virginia guy. I like his son. I'm a big fan of it. His reporting of the NFL, though, vastly different than how we talk about the sport of the NFL. It's a different game that he's playing than we are. He's sold his blog like twice, by the way. I mean, he is trailblazer in this entire internet world. Former agent does his thing, or former lawyer does his thing. But I feel like he is plugged in with the agents. And anytime a player takes business in their own hands, he's not the only one, but he is the loudest and the biggest because he is ProFootballTalk, which everybody get very mad about that almost. Why do you think that's the case? It's always like, well, I'm looking out for the best interest of the player. I'm looking out for Bobby Wagner's best interest. There's a lot of fucking bad deals that have been negotiated by agents over the history of the NFL as well. I like what Bobby did personally, but I don't think it's for everybody. Your thoughts on it, AJ?
Yeah, I'm with you. If you feel confident that you can do that and you can negotiate your own contract, then absolutely. Why not take control and take power? Now, there is some weird thing where I understand agents trying to put it out there, hey, this is not a good idea. Because you know what? It's not a good idea for all NFL players to do their own contracts. We know that.
Concur.
There's certain ones that should and certain that shouldn't. Like, I don't think I should have done my own contract. I don't have the attention span to sit there and try to work through details and all that stupid stuff. So I wouldn't have tried it. But I feel like teams, though, GMs, people like cap people for teams, they have to be excited that the real numbers are coming out because it's tough to pay guys when you see these giant inflated numbers and then all of a sudden you have another agent come in, hey, well, you gave this guy got 50 mil guaranteed over here. You got to give us at least 52. And then you're like, no, let's sit down. Let's actually look at the contract, bud.
I think the GMs like the actual numbers coming out. Owners had to have loved back in the day when they were paying everybody $700 million. Yeah, I'm paying $10 billion to all my guys. Yeah, now only, I don't know, maybe 10 million of that will come out.
Yeah.
But I would have, hey, if he would have held up his end of the bargain, I would have paid him all of that money. The only thing we were asking for him to do, and this is not a big deal, cure polio, okay, and we will pay you an extra $15 million. It's in the contract right here.
Right.
Do you want me to show you the contract? Here's a clause right here. You build a hospital, staff the entire thing, learn how to beat all forms of cancer, both for dogs and for humans, and we'll give you another. Does it not say right here I would give you $20 million for that?
Pretty cut and dry.
I fucking said it. You didn't hold up your end of the bargain. Like that is... And obviously it all related to football, but there was some incentives that were in some of these contracts that agents were negotiating back in the day that were just impossible.
They got rid of a lot of them. A lot of those non-likely to be earned incentives, they called them. They got rid of those for a while. Now we're not seeing like it's not the non-likely to be earned incentives we're seeing in the contracts, but it's just the added years. And like you say, kick the can down the road. That's what makes them look like, hey, it's a 5-year. Hey, it's not a 5-year deal, but yeah, it's pretty much a 2-year. Like that's how most contracts are now.
And they could just kick it down the road.